Delayed spirit fingers. Hey everybody, it is Wednesday once again, and so we are back for the new comic book day video. We have a special guest with us,
yes,
of course.
We do.
That's me. Yeah, right here. So I'm Kara. I'm the social media coordinator at Dark Horse, and with me today, first we have
Spencer. I'm an editor here at Dark Horse as well.
And then our very special guest here is I'll let you take it away.
I'm Jody Houser. I am the writer of Starcraft and the upcoming Stranger Things.
Woohoo!
Yay!
Wow.
And he's my boss.
Well,
Busted.
Yeah, boss man.
why don't you write it?
Boss man, yeah. Get to work. She's just gonna sit here and write while we talk about
I
comics.
could have gotten my laptop and,
Free
and
scripts
done just that.
just
Yeah.
now.
Well, we're really excited to have Jody here with us today. She's going to help us show off what is new this week, and she will be at Rose City Comic Con along with us. We will be at booth 711, and Jody is at...
I'm in Artist Alley at table U01.
Yeah, so remember that. We'll say him a lot more times.
It's also on my Twitter handle if you see me on Twitter, so that'll help too.
Come visit.
Yeah. So come if you're at Rose City Comic Con, you should come and find us, and you can perhaps get some more of the ash cans of Stranger Things.
Very shiny.
Preview comic. We'll talk more. We'll go into a bit of a deep dive on the upcoming Stranger Things comics near the end of the video today. So stay tuned for more of that. A couple of quick announcements. The Tomb Raider fan art contest was amazing. You guys did a great job. We had lots of really awesome entries, fantastic artwork. So the Square Enix folks from Tomb Raider are going through all of those entries now and narrowing it down.
How many did you guys get?
I don't know how many, but I'm still really impressed by the quality.
That's
honestly.
awesome.
It's really good stuff. And so the top 5, however we are able to narrow those down, will be included in the upcoming coloring book, which is really cool. So those will be announced soon. Check our website for details. And then a new contest is going to be announced today. It's just a coloring contest. So, open for everybody, whether or not you have drawing skills. I know I don't. But coloring, and it's for the Tentacle Kitty coloring book, which is out now. And I think Tentacle Kitty will probably be at Rose City as well. They go to a lot of shows.
I think they're Northwest-based.
Yeah. So look for them there too, but the contest will be announced on our website shortly, and we'll drop some links below when we're done here today. And now I'm going to let Spencer tell you about our digital sales.
Yeah, we've got a great digital sale this week. It's all kids. It's Hooray for Kids comics. Each single issue is 99 cents, and all trades are $3.99. This includes Aw Yeah Comics, Axe Cop, Itty Bitty Hellboy, Chimichanga, Incredibles, Usagi Yojimbo. There's tons of good stuff in there. Go check it out. It's cheap.
Aw Yeah Comics. I love all of these comics.
And get those kids hooked early.
That's right.
Start them young.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, without further ado, we are going to just dive right in. We have 2 number 1s this week. So first up, War Bears, number 1. You might have heard of Margaret Atwood. I don't know.
Just a,
there's this thing
Sounds
called
familiar.
Handmaid's Tale, This is very not Handmaid's Tale. It's written, though, by Margaret Atwood and with art by Ken Stacy, both acclaimed creators. I'm going to show you some interiors here. So this is kind of an historical fiction based on the golden age of comic books with a Canadian perspective, because Margaret Atwood is, of course, Canadian. So a fictional Nazi-fighting superheroine is created at the peak of World War II by comic book creator Al Zurakowski, who dreams of making it big in the early world of comics publishing. This is a story that follows the early days of comics in Toronto, a brutal war that greatly strains Al personally and professionally, and how the rise of post-war American comics puts an end to his dreams. So again, it's kind of an historical fiction, definitely a nod to the classic comics of the 1940s. So it's brand new today, written by Margaret Atwood. You should absolutely check it out. It's kind of a fun and interesting departure from her usual literature.
And how many issues is that going to be?
I want to say this will be 4.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
But number 1 out today, so get in while it's fresh.
Next up, we have Call of Duty Zombies 2, number 1. This one happens in 1910 Morocco. It's a brand new cast of characters from this year's Call of Duty Zombies. The man to do it is commanding officer in French Foreign Legion. The prize, an artifact of unspeakable power. The price, more than he bargained for. There's a, it's more zombies from Call of Duty. However, I don't think there's a zombie
that's
that
not a zombie.
appears in the issue or on the cover. But at some point, there will be zombies in the Call of Duty zombies.
Zombies coming soon.
You don't want to spend all your zombies right at the beginning.
No, you gotta pace them
build
out.
up to it.
That's right. It's
Stay
a
tuned
good
for
plan.
zombies. Yeah.
Spend all your zombies.
Well, if you just
Currency.
really like the hunting and the action, we also have Predator, a new Predator today. This is Predator Hunters 2, number 2. Again, like a very numbery series. We already had Predator Hunters, the mini-series that ran prior to this, so this is a continuation. Written by Chris Warner, who many of you know was one of the artists on the Predator comics back in the 90s, and he is an editor here at Dark Horse now. This particular issue, we pick up with a reconnaissance mission in Afghanistan, which turns into a deadly three-way game of cat and mouse as the hunters track a predator and attempt to avoid a government-sponsored team after the same prey. The artists on this are Augustin Padilla and Niraj Menon, and it's a really fun. If you are a fan of Predator, you need to get into this series. The movie is coming out soon too, so
Is it
they
next
kind of
month?
very soon. Yeah, I think it's less than a month, a little less than a month.
So is the tagline "Who preds the predator"?
I like it.
Especially since the way the logo's broken up there. It's Predator.
Right.
Very,
Right.
it's very nice.
Predator.
That's right. Next up, we have some Conan, the muscle man himself. Conan Omnibus Volume 6 is out. This includes a lot of Brian Wood's Queen of the Black Coast. If I can talk, that would be great. Fred Van Lente's stuff is in here as well, who's an incredible writer. He's very clever. It's a big old collection and collects a lot of the older stuff as well. Nightmare of the Shallow, The Song of Belit, Shadows over Kush. And there's tons of good art in here. There's amazing creators who put this together with a cover by Massimo Carnival. If you love Conan, and who doesn't, come check this stuff out. There's a ton here. It's great for the value.
Yeah, these are nice collections.
I,
Lots of sword and sorcery.
I love omnibuses because it gives you an excuse to just sit there and devour
Right.
so many
There's
comics
so
in a
much
sitting.
here. Yeah,
It's
good
comics
stuff.
in a big old book size.
That's right.
Well, we also have. I gotta show you this cover, you guys. It's really fun. Ooh, is that showing it to best effect? You can
There
probably
it
just
goes.
move your camera. Yeah, there you go.
It sparkles, you guys.
It's Crystal Fighters, and the cover is very crystalline. So this is not necessarily new, but it is a new collection of Jen Bartel and Tyler Bartel's Crystal Fighters series. This ran online at first, and you may have seen it on there already, but this paperback collection, as you can see, is really fun. So Stella is a bored teen and part of the first generation to grow up immersed in a world of virtual reality games. Her parents only allow her to play bland, all ages titles. I'll show you a peek inside. Because, you need to see what it's all about. One of which is called Crystal Fighters, a very bubbly and positive world where the player assumes the role of a magical girl. So, a tagline for this, which I love, is Sailor Moon meets Street Fighter. And
Nice.
I don't know what's better than that, honestly. I wanted to show you guys. So we start with some very recognizable Sailor Moon style art.
Oh yeah.
Their little outfits, their little staffs, little chibis here and there. And then I'm going to show you a fighting scene. So you can see, yeah, they really do fight. Lots of fun extras. If you know Jen Bartel, oh, yeah, here's a good one.
There you go.
That's so
Yeah.
cool. Crystal
Summoning.
Fighters coming to get ya.
So this is new in a trade paperback today. It's the first time it's been collected in trade paperback. So check it out.
And what ages is this good for?
I think this one I would say is about 12 and up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Which is the perfect age for anyone who
Yeah.
loves like magical girl stuff.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. It's definitely a lot of fun, and with Jen's beautiful art and beautiful colors and
She's so good.
a shiny
She's so
sparkly
good.
cover.
I love the cover because that's how she tends to do her prints
Yeah.
at conventions. Is like that
Sparkle.
cool, like sparkly texture.
Oh,
so to see it like
awesome.
go through into an actual book is
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah, they did a really good job on that. Good job, team.
Yeah. All right, finally we have Buffy season 11, at least finally on my side. I think there's more books here. Giles, Girl Blue trade. Buffy's Rupert Giles returns to high school, this time as a grown man living in a teenage body. Giles will be a student instead of a teacher at an inner-city LA area school. When a mystical influence is detected and teachers start to go missing, Giles enrolls to investigate. What he finds is more than vampires and demons. Something unusual and frightening is happening here. If Giles can get through one day as a student, he'll have a chance to find out who, what, and where. But high school is still hell, y'all. This collects issues 1 through 4 of the miniseries. Writer Joss Whedon and Eric Alexander, artist John Lamb. It's your classic, wonderful, Buffy the Vampire Slayer art and story. It's super fun.
Good for back to school.
Yeah, it's good to see. I mean, that was the root of the show when it started, so
exactly.
it's very cool to see them go back there.
Giles is back.
I also like the, it's not vampires and demons. It's something way worse than that.
It's like
high school.
What could be worse? We do also have Empowered right now and Sister Spooky in high school hell, so
That's true.
yeah,
That's
we
true.
got a high school theme going on.
That's right.
Also, Blackwood's got that.
Blackwood also,
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
A lot of
yeah.
scary
Yeah.
school titles
Schools.
available through
Love
Dark
it.
Horse.
Yeah, maybe we should do like an October
Yeah,
spooky
that's a
school
Good
thing.
theme.
I like it.
Scare School.
Scare school. Yeah. Well, this is horror-ish, but not in a school. So
Good transition.
you may have heard of Hellboy. I don't know. This is the last volume in our Omnibus collection. So the Omnibus series for Hellboy are these nice trade paperbacks that collect for the first time all the Hellboy stories in chronological order. So instead of publication order, there's a lot of Hellboy stories that kind of jump all over the place, especially when you throw in the BPRD. So these omnibus volumes collect all the Hellboy-focused stories in chronological order. There are 4 volumes, and then there are 2 short stories volumes as well. And with all of those, you have the complete Hellboy set. They will stay in print alongside the library edition, so don't worry. If you prefer the hardcovers, you'll still have those. Hellboy in Hell is the final chapter. The story and art are by Mike Mignola, so if you prefer Mike's art, as I know many people do, you have many pages of it here. Here's a good sample.
And Dave Stewart's colors, which
Always.
are always amazing.
Yeah, in this particular volume, those are the only 2 collaborators. So whereas our last few volumes had a lot of collaborators, just Mike and just Dave on this one. And I love this short description, so I'm glad you're getting that. A very brief history of Hellboy. Very brief. So, if you need to get caught up, don't worry, that's there.
That'll help you.
And in the back of all of these, I'll just show you real quickly, we also have a nice sketchbook section, of course, with commentary from Mike.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
that's so
So-
cool.
Here's some good ones.
Oh, dude.
That guy sure can draw.
What? Who knew?
Yeah, Mike's going to be
That
one
guy's
of our
amazing.
special guests at Rose City Comic Con. So we'll be having a lot of events with him, and look for an in-depth interview that we're going to do where he's going to talk about some of the upcoming comics and what's next for Hellboy. So all of those things are coming up at Rose City Comic Con this weekend.
Awesome.
Meanwhile, this is out today in comic shops and will be in bookstores in about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And that's all for our new releases this week. So now we get to talk about Stranger Things.
Yay!
It's the moment you've all been waiting
I
for.
don't know if you've heard about Stranger Things, but it's this pretty cool little show, and there's going to be some comics now.
That's right. That's
And
right.
I'm writing them.
Yay!
And Spencer's editing them.
Yay!
Also true. Also
and I'm
true.
reading them.
Yay!
Yes.
That's actually the most important part of the process.
Yes.
You know.
Yes. Please read it. Please.
I
It'd be
hope you
great.
all pre-ordered it.
Yeah.
You still can, of course.
Yeah.
You still can. There are a lot of variant covers.
Yeah, there's tons of different retailers who have done exclusive variants for the first issue of the series. Midtown Comics, New York, Scorpion Comics, Surprise Comics, Things from Another World. Yeah, Tifa's got a great one by Babs Tarr.
Babs Tarr was so good.
They
So
all
good.
look amazing, and was very lucky to work with so many great artists on these things. But there's tons of different variants for the first issue. Go find any one of them. Go find all of them. It's
And
going
then
to be a lot of fun.
there's the 4 more standard
Yeah.
Covers that you
Absolutely.
can see. There's one right there.
And that's Alexi Bricklet, who's doing all of our standard covers for us.
And then we have some more here in the
in the
back.
Yeah.
Raphael Albuquerque did one for us.
I love
It's
that
obviously upside down, which is great.
If you've seen Stranger Things,
Yes.
Upside Down has significance.
What?
And then Kyle Lambert did this other one for us. He did all the key art for Netflix on the show.
And I love this photo cover, which sometimes I feel like photo covers are just, like not super exciting.
Right.
But they're great for people who are maybe new to comics and
Yeah.
need something
It's
a
like,
little
oh,
bit
I
more
know this
familiar.
character. Yeah.
But I love the trade dress for this because
Yeah.
just the aging, it just looks like the book you would go and pick up in the used bookstore in the
Yep.
80s.
Stephen King book in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went through a lot of different versions of that, and it was super fun.
The artwork throughout is kind of a throwback to how comics looked at the time as well,
Yeah,
right?
and we're doing some fun stuff. We have things you might not see in comics very often
right.
these days, like thought bubbles and narrative captions that do not come from a character, but come from an unseen narrator. Some genius. I don't know. But yeah, it's been so much fun working on this, and I think coming on board, one of the things I really wanted to do was make a comic that felt like it was of the era, the way the TV show feels like it could be a show you were watching in the 80s. So, just sort of carry that like spirit of the show through into a new medium and do something that you can really only do in comics.
And that's the nice thing, right, is being able to sort of explore and do some really fun stuff that you can't necessarily do in the show, but you can in the comics. And
Yeah.
there's some really fun
So,
gaming stuff there.
Are there going to be some of these ash cans available at Rose City?
There will be some while supplies last. So
and this
come and get 'em.
actually has half of the first issue,
Right.
and it's free, so you can get a nice sneak preview before the issue comes out later this month on September 26th.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Or read it on Dark Horse Digital.
That is also true. Yeah,
Oh,
this is available for free online too.
So
right.
You could go get it
digital.darkhorse.com.
right now.
Yes.
I mean, finish watching this first, and then go get
Yes,
it.
right. And there's tons of fun little Easter eggs throughout the series, so just keep your eyes open for those things. Jody's done a great job
There's a big-
really touching on that stuff from
Yeah,
the show.
there's a pretty big Easter egg in these sample pages that I don't think anyone has picked out yet. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see if anyone figures that out.
Yeah.
You'd be the first.
Scavenger hunt.
One frequently asked question we get on this is it just an adaptation of the show so
Right.
far? So
And that answer is no.
Yeah.
It is new content. The specifics of the series is it's following Will through the events of the first season. So we didn't get to see a lot of him in that season because he was much more the mission than a main character. So we're seeing the events in the Upside Down from his perspective. There were times he did pop up in the season talking to either his friends or his mom. So we'll sort of see those
through Christmas
moments.
lights.
Yeah, through Christmas lights, we'll see those moments from his perspective, and just the fact that a number of people went into the Upside Down in the first season, and he's the only one that survived, and he's also the youngest of the people
Right.
who went in. So
R.I.P.
how did
Barb.
he do that?
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
And I think it really gives Will, we've seen him sort of as a victim in both seasons, but I think this gives him a lot of agency in how he survives and what he does, decisions he makes that really make him heroic to me,
yeah,
which
and
was really fun to see.
there's definitely going to be a twist on some things you think you know how they played out. So check out the series and learn more fun things about the Upside Down and what happened there.
And it keeps that D&D theme running
Oh yes,
throughout, too.
there is because we wanted to be able to include, his friends because they're such a core part of the series. So we have flashbacks to some of their gaming sessions because not only does that inform how the boys understand what's going on in the Upside Down back on the right side up.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
But Will, who is a part of their gaming party, that informs how he handles surviving as well. So that's another thing that's very consistent that we wanted to bring in from the show.
So fans of the show, I think, are really going to enjoy these comics.
Fans of comics will hopefully
Enjoy this.
enjoy
Yeah,
it because it is a
absolutely.
comic.
Yes, it's super fun.
Yeah,
I love
I've
it.
been having a blast working on it. And it's great seeing the art coming in.
Yeah.
So it's out September 26th in full, and you can get the mini preview now. Jody also writes Starcraft for us.
Yes, she does.
Yes,
This came out last week. We showed you this on our video last week, but I brought it
Yes.
just for fun so we could check it out
And
today too.
my favorite thing is between Stranger Things and Starcraft, I think Starcraft is the darker book.
That's great.
This is a good horror comic.
Yes,
guys.
if you like horror in space and you like lots of murder, In space.
Space murder. Hey, Starcraft.
The only thing better than murder is murder in space, right? Yeah, so let me flip open. There is some cool stuff going on. If you're familiar with StarCraft, these are still new characters. So if you're not super familiar with StarCraft, or maybe you haven't played in a while because the game is having its 20-year anniversary, I believe.
Oh, wow.
This is an entirely new cast of characters. They are a group of scavengers, and the series is called Starcraft Scavengers, who think they've found like the one last job that they'll need to do to, retire from their dangerous line of work. It's a risky job, but it seems worth it. Maybe it's riskier even than they thought.
Dun, dun, dun.
Spoilers, lots of death. But yeah, no, this has been a really fun series to write. Issue 2 had sort of a cliffhanger ending that puts a twist on the whole series.
Oh, nice.
And then, so issues 3 and 4 will come out in the next couple months, and we'll see who, if anyone, survives.
In space.
In space.
Yeah.
Very important.
Yes.
Nice.
Well,
Yeah.
so Jody, as we mentioned, will be at Rose City Comic Con if you want to come and see her and get some of these things signed.
Yeah.
Starcraft Scavengers numbers 1 and 2 are available now. We'll probably have some of these in our store if you come and get them while supplies last again. And these ash cans of Stranger Things. So we'll have those goodies at our booth, number 711. It's easy to remember.
Will you by chance have any of the Halo Rise of Atriox hardcovers?
Oh, we should as well if they are in stock.
Because
Yeah.
that was the first thing I worked on.
Yeah.
By Dark Horse.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's another
There's a story
Spencer
in there.
title too.
Yep.
It is.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. That's a good one for Halo fans or just fans of cool art.
And it's a very shiny hardcover.
It is.
Yeah.
It's very nice. So yeah, we will all be at Rose City Comic Con. You should come and see us if you will be too. And meanwhile, don't forget to share this video if you would like to win all of the new comics that we talked about today.
You can
Just
win
share
comics?
it. You can win free
That's
books.
so exciting.
Free
Free
stuff.
comics.
All you
And
gotta
like-
do is share this video. It's really easy.
And these are like 2 omnibuses. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
are like free, really big books.
Yeah.
Yes. And you need, there's something for everyone in this lineup, I
Yeah.
would say.
I think
Got
so.
some all ages, we got some horror, we got all kinds of stuff. So we want to thank Jody very much for joining
Yes,
us
thank you.
today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
And we will see you all, I hope, at Rose City Comic Con. And with that, we will sign off. Bye, guys.
Have a good one.
Dun, dun, dun.